arrest of another Stratford Schools employee, a Milford condo fire investigation, and a deer getting rescued after getting itself in a tricky situation yesterday in Trumbull. We also have a great feel-good holiday story out of Ridgefield where the town came together to grant the wish of a young boy with cancer. And as we've been saying this week, many of our staff are out on the winter HAN-FCAC tour, visiting 17 high schools in preparation for the winter season. We'll be getting a sneak peek at that later on. But first, getting to today's news. A paraprofessional at a Stratford middle school is accused of having sexual contact with a minor and has been arrested by police. Stratford police charged 48-year-old Kyle D'Amato Cushel on Tuesday with second-degree sexual assault, fourth-degree sexual assault, illegal sexual contact with a minor, and interfering with an officer and tampering with a witness. Police said officers were contacted on October 1st about allegations of inappropriate conduct by an adult female and a juvenile victim. Police said the report alleged that D'Amato Cushel, a teacher's aide with the Stratford Public Schools, was involved, and it was later confirmed. As a result of the investigation, D'Amato Cushel was charged after turning herself into police on Tuesday. According to a statement from Stratford School Superintendent Janet Robinson, D'Amato Cushel worked as a paraprofessional at Worcester Middle School since 2006. She was fired on November 9th after the district received a report on the allegations from the State Department of Children and Families. D'Amato Cushel was released on a $50,000 bond and is scheduled to appear in court in Bridgeport December 21st. This is the second case this year of a Stratford Schools employee accused of sexual assault with a minor. Michelle Solzicki, a former Chapel Street Elementary School teacher, is facing 4 charges after her October 14th arrest. Police say she had a sexual relationship over 2 years with a boy that she tutored. Solzicki was fired by the district a day after her arrest. Superintendent Janet Robinson said, "We will not tolerate this type of behavior, regardless of where it happens. Our responsibility is to protect and educate our students." She said she's thankful to the Stratford Police Department for bringing this disturbing case to a swift resolution. And in Milford, the Milford Fire Department responded to 31 Southwind Lane for a building fire in an end unit of a 4-unit condominium just after 7 a.m. on Tuesday. Upon arrival, fire was seen coming from the second-floor windows, and Milford fire crews began an aggressive interior attack, according to Fire Department spokesman Greg Carmen. Carmen said the fire was quickly extinguished and was contained to the second floor of the unit, which received extensive damage. He said there was some smoke and water damage to the first floor of the unit. The home was unoccupied at the time of the fire, and there were no injuries reported to any department personnel. The occupant's pet cat was rescued and returned to its owners. The adjoining unit did receive some minor smoke damage, but all 3 are habitable. The fire marshal's office has begun investigating to determine the cause of that fire. And in Darien, police arrested 2 New York City natives for their alleged role in an identity theft scam. The men are accused of using stolen personal information to order goods, with several Darien homes listed as potential targets. Yanish Lee and Damon Arnold, both 35 years old, were arrested and charged on November 30th after a Stanley Road resident received an unexpected package carrying 3 iPhones. The resident attempted to contact Verizon regarding the order, which is valued at $2,000, but was unable to get any information because the devices had been ordered under her husband's name. Shortly after receiving the package, however, an unknown man approached the home. Thinking that the man might be associated with the suspicious package, the resident contacted police. And a Darien police officer responded to the call, observed a man matching that description riding in a car near Edgerton Street and West Avenue. According to police, the 2 men in the car claimed to be returning home to Brooklyn after visiting a family member in Bridgeport. Both men would ultimately ask to speak to police in private, at which point their stories changed. Lee told police that he was unaware of the package's contents, but while police did a search of his phone, they found a number of documents, including a spreadsheet with the names, addresses, and social security numbers from several states. Police said that at least 3 Darien residents were among those listed, and additionally, a navigation app on the phone allegedly listed the Stanley Road residence as a recent destination. Arnold said that Lee offered him a couple $100s to drive him around and pick up packages. Arnold also denied knowing what the contents were. You can read more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And Jeffrey and Jeanette Navin might have planned to cut their son Kyle from their wills at the time of their death, but they had not done so. According to the Easton Courier, the wills were recently filed at the probate court at Trumbull Town Hall that serves Trumbull, Easton, and Monroe. 27-year-old Kyle Navin and his brother, 24-year-old Taylor Navin, are the beneficiaries of the wills, which were signed in August of 1987. No supplements were filed to the original wills, which indicated their future children would inherit their estate if both parents were deceased. Kyle was born a year after the wills were written, and Taylor followed a few years later. 56-year-old Jeffrey Navin and 55-year-old Jeanette Navin were reported missing August 7th by family members. Kyle was the last person to see them on August 4th. Kyle has been charged with their murders, and his girlfriend, Jennifer Valiente, 31 years old, has been charged with conspiracy to commit murder. Kyle is accused of shooting them and dumping their bodies on the grounds of an uninhabited house in Weston, where they were discovered October 29th. Kyle Navin is being held on a $2.5 million bond. His girlfriend is being held on a $2 million bond. Their cases are proceeding in court. Under Connecticut's Slayer statute, a person convicted of murdering another person may not be the beneficiary of a will. And switching gears now, Animal Control Officer Lynn Della Bianca and Trumbull Police Sergeant Doug Smith helped rescue a small doe in the woods near Strobel Road Tuesday morning. According to a press release, police responded to a call from a resident who spotted the deer wandering around the woods with what appeared to be a bag on its head. The small doe was located in the woods just off the road with its head wedged into a metal watering can. Officer Della Bianca was able to slip a leash around the deer's neck and secure it to a tree so it wouldn't run off while they attempted to pull the can off its head. According to police, when Animal Control Officer Della Bianca attempted to pull the can off the deer's head, it began to thrash about, but eventually became tired and lied down. They were able to remove the can, which was wedged on so tight it made a popping noise when it was removed. The deer was untied from the tree and ran off, apparently unharmed. So some good news there. We're happy to hear that. Taking a quick look at today's weather, there is going to be a high of 52 degrees today in Shelton, dropping down to just 43 tonight, and it will be cloudy. Tomorrow in Shelton, even warmer, 57 degrees and partly cloudy, very unseasonably warm, and it's likely only going to get warmer this weekend, but we'll hear more about that later. We're going to step out for a quick break. When we come back, Donald Ang is going to give us a look back on this day in history. We're going to take a sneak peek at the Winter FCAC Tour, and we have a lot more coming up on your coffee break after this.
Had a sports injury that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist quickly. Their highly trained orthopedic professionals expertly treat you without an appointment. Skiing, snowboard, or sports accident, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk. Call 203-845-2070 or coastalorthoexpress.com. Find them on Facebook at Coastal Ortho CT.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Ang, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports. So come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday, right here on the HAN Network.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your local destination for the best of the holidays. Shop Stewart's for the freshest produce, certified prime rib roasts, magnolia wreaths, fresh baked pies, gingerbread houses, Christmas candies, and the season's best wine and craft brews right next door at Stewart's Spirits. Shop Walter Stewart's, 229 Elm Street in New Canaan, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
And we're back on this Wednesday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. It's December 9th, and Donald Ang is going to take a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, Kate, on this date, an anxiety-ridden child finds reassurance. But first we go to 1793, New York City's first daily newspaper, the American Minerva. Established by Noah Webster, it would continue under various names until 1904. 1835, the Texas Revolution. The Texian army captures the city of Behar, modern-day San Antonio. Though outnumbered 2-1, virtually all 600 men in the army were proficient marksmen and easily defeated the Mexican conscript army. The Mexicans made their last stand. If you look in the background there, you can see them. They made their last stand in an abandoned mission called the Alamo, which the Texians then occupied as they awaited a Mexican response that would come the following year. 1935, the Downtown Athletic Club Trophy is awarded for the first time. The winner is halfback Jay Berwanger of the University of Chicago. A few years later, the club's athletic director, John Heisman, died, and the award was renamed in his honor. And finally, now we go to 1965, the 50th anniversary of this.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? Sure, Charlie Brown. I can tell you what Christmas is all about. Lights, please. And there were in the same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them. And the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not. For behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men. That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown.
That is the Christmas classic, A Charlie Brown Christmas, which premiered on this day in 1965 on CBS. That is your look back in history, including the meaning of Christmas, Kate Czaplinski. I'm Donald Ng.
Oh, Donald Ang, well, I like how the Charlie Brown Christmas tree just magically appeared.
It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. That was in our studio last year when we were still doing audio-only coffee breaks.
Still doing audio. It was there when we had our legendary gift exchange.
Yes, legendary.
Yeah, some fun times.
That's right. All right. Thanks so much, Don. Well, as we've been saying, much of our crew is out on the road this week on the Winter FCAC Tour, visiting 17 schools in preparation for the winter sports season. Right now, they're at their 6th stop, and they're recording all those interviews. We're going to be putting them up. You could also follow along. It's a lot of fun on our Twitter page at HAN Network CT. But right now, we're going to give you a little preview of that. Rob Adams yesterday spoke with the West Hill boys basketball team, who last year were FCAC champions and lost the state championship by 1 point. So check out that interview right now.
This HAN Network video is brought to you by Darien Sports Shop.
It was only last March on the HAN Network that we saw one of the great stories in FCAC basketball, the return of West Hill to prominence as they won their first title since 1989. Beyond that, they went on and did some great things in the state as well, and we're going to let these guys tell you that story. We'll let them introduce themselves as well.
My name is Vashawn Natil.
Coach Howard White.
Coach, what a fun ride it was to watch your team last year. And I know we're looking into this year, but I want to spend a moment on last year. I mean, just watching West Hill, the way you guys performed, the FCAC championship, I mean, it was a bit of a dream ride.
Yes, it was. You know, it was an opportunity that, you know, we will never forget. You know, we basically made history in the school, but, you know, our main thing, whatever happened last year, we have to allow that to move forward and try to start something new this season.
And to that end, we go from last year, now we put that in the past. What do you do this year?
Yeah, man, like Coach tells us every day, it's unfinished business. We got to go out there and do what we got to do. We trying to go back, and we trying to win it this time. I mean, it was heartbreaking last year, but I think we're looking good.
But it was so good in that FCAC game. And again, that's all in the past. We want to see you guys look forward to this year. You know, you as a small forward, what's this offense going to be like?
It's going to be a lot of passing the ball around. We're going to try to swing it until we get an open shot, and once we get an open shot, we're knocking it down. We got so many players, and everybody has a role on the team, and they got to play their role, and we're going to be all right.
How about defense? You guys good on the other end?
Oh, yeah, that's what we've been doing all practices, just focus on defense.
Would you say you have a particular style, Coach? Are you a defensive coach, offensive coach, speed? I mean, what's your game?
Defense is the main thing I focus on.
Absolutely, and so good to see that kind of basketball player. I always thought you guys played a really good brand last year, and I would imagine you're going to carry it right into this year.
Yeah, most definitely. Nothing's changing. We just, it's good.
How do you build this team?
Just by roles. Everybody has a certain role. Coach let us know from the first day what your role is. You just keep on growing on that role, and we're gonna be all right.
So many times when I interview people before a season, I find myself going, well, the FCAC could be this and that, you know. But I feel like boys basketball is really wide open this year. Do you get a sense for it coming into the season?
Yes, I do. I mean, I got a sense of it for the last couple of years overall. You know, the thing is, you know, as the year progress, team progress, you know, and it makes it even fun. You know, it's better for the community, it's better for the league, and it's better for the state.
The best basketball we see in the state is right here in the FCAC, and these guys played some of the best brand last year. Again, nice for us in the media to look back at last year, but these guys are all about this year, and we're going to see them this year as well. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to doing a game right here at West Hill High School. Good luck this year.
Thank you.
High hopes for the West Hill Vikings in 2015 into 2016. The boys basketball team, they're nice enough to join us for a few moments right here at West Hill High School on the HAN Network.
Again,
This HAN Network video is brought to you by Darien Sports Shop.
Members of the West Hill boys basketball team who last year were
It was
FCAC
only last
champions.
March on the HAN Network that we saw one of the great
going to
stories in
get back to a little more news today, but as we said, you can follow along with the Winter FCAC Tour on Twitter at HAN Network CT. They're having a lot of fun, and all those interviews will be put up throughout the week, so definitely check that out. Rob Adams will be bringing you Nutmeg Sports today at 2, where he's going to be playing some more of those great interviews that they've been getting out on the road, so check that out. Getting back to a little more news today. In Trumbull, the back and forth between the former school facilities manager and resident Al Barbarata and First Selectman Tim Herbst raged on this week when the AFB construction management boss filed another lawsuit against the town's top official at the State Superior Court in Bridgeport. Less than 2 months after reaching a $20,000 settlement with Herbst and the town for alleged tort interference that caused him to lose a business deal with Trumbull Loves Children Preschool, Barbarata served the first selectman with a 15-page document that lists 76 individual complaints and highlights specifically actions that lost AFB an expected $1.1 million contract with the City of Stamford and its Board of Education for maintenance work on buildings, facilities, and parks. According to the lawsuit, Herbst, in his personal capacity, interfered with AFB's business expectancy with the City of Stamford when he colluded with former Mayor Michael Pavia to ensure that the City of Stamford withdrew its award to AFB for the $1.1 million building and facilities contract. Herbst faces charges of tort interference and defamation from the lawsuit. The first selectman, for his part, has said the lawsuit is motivated purely by politics and comes from a point of desperation. For more details on that, read the full story at TrumbullTimes.com. In New Canaan, police officers went to a Hampton Lane home of a 21-year-old man on December 4th to serve a protective order from Massachusetts. They were led into the house by the man's mother and then knocked on his door and entered. In plain view, police said, was a bong, marijuana grinder, and bags with marijuana residue. He was issued an infraction for possession of less than half an ounce of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. Saxophonist Jimmy Green, whose daughter died in the 2012 Sandy Hook shooting, has earned Grammy nominations for his album inspired by his late daughter. Green earned his first pair of Grammy nominations Monday, including Best Arrangement, Instrument, and Vocals for the song When I Come Home, and Best Jazz Instrumental Album for Beautiful Life, which he created in honor of Anna Marquez Green, and it also features her vocals. Green is coordinator of jazz studies and assistant professor of music at Western Connecticut State University. Green, with his wife Nelba Marquez Green, established the Anna Grace Project in 2013 following the killing of their 6-year-old daughter and 19 other first graders and 6 educators at Sandy Hook Elementary School on December 14, 2012. Beautiful Life, which is Green's 10th album as a band leader, was released last year. He started working on the album not long after the Sandy Hook shooting. And in a feel-good holiday story out of Ridgefield, some 300 people showed up on the front lawn of the Cowan home Tuesday night for a Christmas caroling flash mob for the benefit of Justin Cowan, a 12-year-old with cancer, and his family. The event was arranged by Ridgefielder Amy Nash, who is a Make-A-Wish grantor and has Justin as one of her wish kids. Ridgefield Police and Fire assisted with traffic control along New Road as hundreds of cars arrived and departed from 6:30 to 7:30 Tuesday evening. Following a half hour or so of caroling, friends stopped at the front porch with gifts for the family. Such a great story there. Thanks to the Ridgefield Press for sharing that with us. We are going to step out for another quick break. We're going to come back and talk about how you can save money if you're going into the city for the holidays. We also have a lot more news coming up on your coffee break after this.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first, a place where there's more than one kind of interest, where automation will never replace consideration, where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at the Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
This fall for our red panda. That's right, Rashawn the red panda will be visiting the Beardsley Zoo for a limited time. Resembling raccoons, red pandas primarily eat bamboo, but will occasionally eat fruits, berries, young leaves, and certain tree bark, like their better-known black and white cousins. As an adult, Rashawn is expected to weigh 10 to 12 pounds, and you can see him at the South American Rainforest exhibit, Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo of Bridgeport. A whole new experience. 875 Noble Avenue, Bridgeport. 203-394-6565.
Find over 1,000 special stories at Hospital for Special Surgery. Go to hss.edu/backinthegame.
I was jogging 5 months after my cartilage tear.
Skiing a year after hip surgery.
And playing grandma 4 weeks after hip replacement.
One special hospital, 1,000 special stories. See Connecticut patients at hss.edu/CT.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. and I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
Want to go into the city and see the big tree? I'm Jim Cameron for Talking Transportation, commentary and analysis on getting around in Connecticut. So with the holidays upon us, let's review some money-saving tips for riding Metro North into the city. Tips good for... Want to go into the city and see the big tree? I'm Jim Cameron for Talking Transportation, commentary and analysis on getting around in Connecticut. So with the holidays upon us, let's review some money-saving tips for riding Metro North into the city. Tips good for commuters and day trippers alike. The first is something called Transit Check. Now, you should check to see if your employer subscribes to this great service. It allows workers to buy up to $130 per month in transit using pre-tax dollars. If you're in the upper tax brackets, that's a huge saving on commutation. A recent survey showed something like 45% of all New York City companies support the Transit Check program, which can be used on trains, subways, even on ferry boats. Another money-saving tip, go off-peak. If you can arrive in Grand Central weekdays after 10 a.m. and can avoid the busy 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. peak return hours, you can save 25% on your fares. Off-peak is also good on weekends and holidays. The tickets are good for 60 days after purchase. Always buy your tickets in advance. If you buy your ticket on the train, you're going to pay the conductor a $5.75 to $6.50 service charge, a mistake you probably will only make once. Seniors, don't worry, you're exempt. You can buy on board anytime without a penalty. There are ticket machines at most stations, but the cheapest tickets, ironically, are bought online. And go for those 10-trip tickets, peak or off-peak. You can save an additional 15%. They can be shared among passengers. They're good for 6 months. Kids, families, seniors, you get special fares. Buy tickets for your kids aged 5 through 11 in advance and save 50% over adult fares. Or pay $1 per kid on board, up to 4 kids traveling with an adult, but not in the morning peak. Seniors, the disabled, and those on Medicare, they get 50% off on their one-way fare. But you must have the proper ID, and you can't go in on the morning rush hour trains. Look for free station parking. Even stations that require weekday parking permits usually offer free parking after 5 p.m. on nights and on weekends. Check with your local town. Metro cards. Forget about those old subway tokens, friends. These nifty cards can be bought at most stations, even combined with your Metro North ticket, and they offer some pretty good deals. Put $5.50 on a Metro card, bought with either cash, credit, or a debit card, and you get a 5% bonus. Swipe your card to ride the subway, and you get a free transfer to a connecting bus, or vice versa. You can buy unlimited ride Metro cards for a week for $31 or for a month for $116.50. But the big question is it cheaper to drive? Despite being a mass transit advocate, I'm the first to admit that there may be times when it is really cheaper to drive to Manhattan than to take the train, especially if you have 3 or more passengers. And you can avoid those costly bridge tolls by taking the Major Deegan Expressway to the Willis 3rd Avenue Bridge. I can't help you with the traffic you're going to have to endure, though. Check out bestparking.com to find a great list of parking lots in New York City, some of them even offering coupons and discounts. Or, alternatively, drive to Shea Stadium, take the number 7 subway from there. It'll drop you right off at Grand Central. The bottom line is, it isn't cheap going into the city, but with a little planning and some insider tips, you can still save money. Happy holidays. I'm Jim Cameron for Talking Transportation.
That That was some great advice from Jim Cameron with Talking Transportation. And before we wrap up today's show, we just want to bring you one more story. If you're looking for a few laughs, there will be a display of Douglas Smith's original artwork at the Trumbull Library this month. Smith is the editorial cartoonist for us here at the HAN Network. His weekly cartoons appear in our 13 newspapers each week. He's a 4-time recipient of the New England Newspaper and Press Association's Award for Editorial Cartooning, as well as a 2-time recipient of the Connecticut Society of Professional Journalists Award for Editorial Cartoons. He's also the author of 7 ebooks and an all-around hilarious and clever guy. So you can see some of his work. Please go check it out at the Trumbull Library, 33 Quality Street. You won't be bored. It's always entertaining. But that's going to do it for us on your coffee break. If you missed anything, we'll have the whole show up at live.han.network, so you can catch up on any of the news you might have missed today. And of course, Nutmeg Sports coming up at 2 o'clock, where they'll be playing some of those interviews from the FCAC tour this week. Have a great Wednesday, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11.